Hello everyone, my name is Hatchet, and I had my 6th 5-0 with Take-Two, and that's what we're starting with right here. We'll get back to the score screen in a second. I just wanted to try picking up the pace a little bit with this video, because the last two times I tried to make it, it was like 40 minutes long. So here in the mulligan, I pitched away the Rabbit Necromancer, which was maybe wrong, because it's probably the best 3-drop in my deck. However, I really wanted to hit a 2-drop for turn 2 because this is a very aggressive draft, and missing the 2-drop is very, very bad in aggressive drafts. So here I hit it. It's fine. So here he goes face, which I think is wrong, as you're not playing another minion into the board. Because you want to be in this position where you have two 2/2s and they have one 2/2, because then they're forced to trade because you're just doing more damage to them, especially when you're going second. So I think that he should have traded last turn. He would just have 2 less damage on his face. And I would just have a 2/2 on the board still. But he would be at 17 right now instead of 15. The damage on my face does not matter at all. He played the Teaching of Creation that turn. That was the big decider, honestly. Like, if he was playing another minion, it was fine to go face, but he played a thing that doesn't do anything. Even if it was like a red hot ritual, it would have been fine for him to go face, I think, because that would have still taken something off the board. And I wouldn't have been in a better position than him. So a couple of turns happened, nothing like really important happened. Professor of Taboos was a pretty tough thing to deal with. I could have drawn like a better answer, but I drew Rise of the Dead, so I had to think about it. I actually went through my chat log and all that stuff, or not my chat log, my battle log, to see if I had played anything on curve with the Angel of Word, or if I had only played this as a 3-drop and everything else was 2s, and this was the only 3-drop I had played up till this point. So I knew I was going to be able to kill the Professor of Taboos, so that's fine. So this was another play I don't like because he didn't evolve this. He's, I guess, playing against Pact of the Nether God and Deathbrand by not doing that, but he could have still just like had a 2/2 on board and hit face a couple more times. Like, his decision-making has been very inconsistent since the start of the game. If he wanted to be a control-type deck, he should have been doing the control thing from the start and traded early. Like, it would have saved him a lot of stuff by this point of the game. Yeah. So this is why he saved his evolution point, was for this levy, and I think that was a wrong decision. I think like he could have used it a lot earlier to have just like a better board presence and position in this game. Now he's just opening me up to having stuff, and I do have stuff. I'm gonna have a 5/5 Pluto and a Deathbrand, killing his things. So now I just have 2 5/5s on the board. He has a Secrets of Erasmus, and unfortunately for me, it hits the Pluto. I draw Kawi, so I play Kawi, and I use an Impious Resurrection here on my Mordecai. And you could, you know, say, why didn't you use it on your Kawi? It straight out kills the Erasmus. This is far more board pressure to do it the way that I do it, and it's a 66% chance that he hits something that isn't the Lich. And the Lich is the only thing that, if he ends turns and hits it, matters. If he plays like a 6 health thing and then he hits it, hits the Kawi with Erasmus. Erasmus is on 2 health, and still can only 50-50 the Lich. Given my luck, that's probably what he does, but I also just gain 6 health back, because it goes based off of power, and it's random. Randomly is probably one of the strongest things. So he could play a 5 or 6 thing here. 5 would be a gamble, 6 would be no gamble at all. And I either kill the Erasmus or that thing. I gain back my 5 health regardless, and then I can clean up with the stuff that's remaining. So it's completely fine if I don't kill this immediately. So here, had this not hit the Kawi, I would have been able to trade both the Lich and the Kawi into the Timeless Witch and the Remy and hit face for 5. And that's the way I would have done it. I also played the Rabbit Necromancer here, and whatever I draw off the top. I would have hit face for 7. So here, I played on the Mordecai because he doesn't want to kill the Mordecai. I could have played it on the Lich to make him not want to kill the Lich as much, but he would still probably want to kill the Lich. Killing the Rabbit Necromancer only saves him 1 damage. Killing the Lich would, if I played Impious Resurrection on it, the thing that I just played, not Impious Resurrection, Curse of Rebirth. If I played Curse of Rebirth on it, it takes 4 damage off the board still, while doing whatchamacall. While making my board weaker. Putting it on the Mordecai here, if he kills the Mordecai for any reason, it's just not taking any damage off the board. So I just have a 7-2 Mordecai always in this case. And putting it on the Rabbit Necromancer is probably the best play, because then he only takes he essentially takes 1 damage off the board if the Rabbit Necromancer would have lasted for 1 turn. Because she'll do 2 in her Death Rattle and spawn a 2/2. And, I'm sorry, her last words, and spawn a 2/2, which would be, you know, almost the equivalent body. So, over the course of 2 turns, that zombie would be equivalent to the Rabbit Necromancer. Not the Rabbit Necromancer plus the Curse of Rebirth, just the Rabbit Necromancer. So yeah, killing the Mordecai is just wrong in every sense, and especially now that it has that on it. So I was just thinking this is a safe way to keep 2 damage on the board, but it probably should have been the Rabbit Necromancer that got the buff. It doesn't matter anyway because he kills the Mordecai, which is absolutely wrong. I mean, look at this board. It didn't change. I have the same amount of damage on it. He should have killed the Lich. Anyway. I could have disrespected his thing, and just went face. But yeah, not a lot he could do with the cards he had remaining with the plays that he made leading up to that turn. And honestly, not a lot of players are very strong at making decisions when they haven't played a deck for tens of games, which is something that TakeTwo has taught me quite well. Like, I'm not making all the best decisions, but I'm making strong decisions a lot of the time. But, you know, going back through these replays, I review basically every game that I play in order to learn things. Hold on, I need to talk about this upcoming play, but I review basically every replay to learn things. I learn things that my opponent does wrong, things that I do right, things that I do wrong, things that my opponent does right, that I might have thought was wrong in the heat of the moment. But what did I want to say with that? I feel like a lot of players don't actually stop to think about their stuff, their plays or whatnot, because that guy ran a Storm minion into my Mordecai and took 0 damage off the board. So a lot of people just misplay heavily, and you'll win off of that, even when your deck is bad. As long as you can be making very clear, strong decisions, often with busted cards like Mordecai, but as long as he makes clear, strong decisions, you're in pretty good shape. Okay, so this upcoming play, I play the Sexton, and one of the things I didn't mention playing this card is I have Curse of the Rebirth in my hand. If he just, like, does nothing or even like makes a dude. If he makes the dude, I have the Pact of the Nether God and the Ghostly Grasp, and I can just run Sexton into Urias, Ghostly Grasp, and Pact the other thing. And then I'm at a very, very mediocre board state. Um, I'm not up on cards, but I'm not down on cards either. And then he just evolves next, and it's pretty bad for me. But if he doesn't do anything, uh, I have the Curse of Rebirth, and this will put me in an advantageous position, as if I can Curse of Rebirth the Urias with the Sexton. Um, Now, I could have played the Pact of the Nether God just to get rid of the Urias, but the damage that Urias is doing in Take Two does not matter. Period. Like, unless he just hits me in the face with a Storm minion for every turn in the rest of the game, uh, it's just not going to add up. Like, I think the Urias does 5 damage to me all game. And that doesn't matter at all because I didn't lose 20 health. So here I'm just going to play the Sexton again, because that's honestly my best play. I could have played the Sexton and the White, but that just loses on board to an Evolution and a Urias. Now, this play is strong for me because, okay, I've taken my 5th damage from Urias this game, doesn't matter. I'm killing him off now. I'm playing the Pact on the 5/4, and now I'm ahead on board for the first time with a pretty strong card. A 4/2 is fine. He used a thing for no reason. Like, he should have evolved the Succubus. Honestly, he shouldn't have used the Hungry Heart at all. So this is my last evolution point. He's saving these for next game or something like. I don't know. He's like not using them. He thinks like next game he can use them. I think, which is not the case. He uses one of them here, and it's pretty strong. It's not very strong. It's just kind of strong. He trades the 4/4 into my 4/4, and trades the 6/8 into my other 4/4. And I can just answer this pretty well. I think I used the Call of the Void. Yeah. I'm gonna have enough ammo for the Ghostly Grasp later. And he's gonna use his last evolution point on this Medusa, which is wrong once again. Like, if he was going to save these evolution points for next game, he should have saved them for next game once again. Because evolving that Medusa just does nothing on this turn. And now I just have a very strong board that he probably can't deal with. I get to play the Kawi and hit him in the face for a good, putting him into Vengeance range. I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have traded the bat, but it doesn't matter because this works out for me very well anyway. He evolves his Beast Dominator, which is an awful card to have to draft. I don't know if he picked that on purpose or if the other cards were worse. And this is just lethal. I basically figured if he was playing Revelation, he was playing Revelation anyway, and I probably couldn't beat it. Oh well. If he was going to play Bahamut, it was better to have the Kawi out. Oops, replays. I don't know. There wasn't much to consider in that game. He played poorly. He used his evolutions in a very a very resourceless way. He used his resources poorly. How many turns do I draw dead in this game? At least 2. Maybe 3. No, I got a white this turn. Yeah, that's right. So So yeah, he's gonna go face with this because there's no reason not to. Like I said, if you're playing another minion, there's no reason to not go face. Now, I kind of contradict myself here by going face here, but he didn't play anything. And also, if he had played anything, I have the first chance to evolve, and my next turn is evolving. So if anything, he should have traded into my white, and he didn't. So missing that 2 face damage was bad. But especially if he had nothing to play on for, he needed to trade into my white. And if he didn't trade into my white and he played a card, I would have had a 4 play to evolve, and I would have had my white still. So I could clear his board next turn, so it would have just been missing damage. Like, nothing here that my opponent did made sense in these like first 4 turns. Meanwhile, well, I'm sorry, on his turns 1, 2, and 3, he was fine, but on his turn 4, nothing made sense. So I'm just gonna clear that off and hit him in the face again. And because I didn't trade with my white, I'm in an advantageous position. This doesn't matter. He's gonna evolve this and play Art of the Ninja or whatever on my Lich. Very low impact turn. So here I could have waited on the Deadly Widow. It's going to be Necromancy 6. And I'm going to get 1 at the end of the turn off of the Spartoy. And once this dies, I'll get another 1. So I would have had 6. So this could have been a 4/4. However, in most scenarios, most, not all, the Deadly Widow is going to survive, and it's going to push more damage over the course of the game than if I wait and make it a 4/4. On top of that, I also need to be careful with the number of shadows that I'm holding, because I have a Cursed Soldier in hand, a Call of the Void in hand, which makes a zombie, which is, you know, the same thing as making this a 4/4, and also I have like a Ghostly Grasp in my deck and a bunch of other things that can use the shadows. There's some reasons why a 2/2 zombie isn't the same as having a 4/4 Deadly Widow, and most of them include being a evolving this into a 6/6. So here I'm just gonna have enough shadows still for the Cursed Soldier. I even got to push 2 damage with this Deadly Widow, and I'm gonna get to push 2 more. I was hoping for honestly, I think I was hoping for the Bane minion, so I just didn't have to do anything this turn, other than, you know, clear it off. But this worked out rather well for the Alexander turn. He thought about this play for a little while. It wasn't particularly good for him. So, okay, here I misplayed, right? I played down the Mordecai, which doesn't seem like a misplay, but I have a Curse of Rebirth in my hand alongside a Cursed Soldier. I could have pushed 6 damage this turn. He would be on 3 mana, or 3 health. 3 of this number, up here, that one. And that's where Cursed Soldier shines, because he deals that much. The only thing that he could possibly have to stop that is a Healing Angel, and the Healing Angel is exceptionally unlikely to be in his deck, because I'm not actually sure if like neutrals are weighted less, or if it's just because of the occurrence of neutrals in the game itself, but they are far less uncommon. They are far less. They are far less common than just like Swordcraft cards. So I don't think he has anything here anyway, so I don't think this play mattered. However, I could have just put him on 3 health and had the win in hand if he doesn't have a Healing Angel. And even if he does have a Healing Angel, he needs the Healing Angel plus like a ward, which he can have because he's Sword. Sword has a lot of wards. Anyway. I'm pretty sure Mordecai would have won me the game in most circumstances anyway. He would have literally needed like Odin into Bahamut. And even then, if he had Odin into Bahamut, that's not strong enough. So this game I actually curved out well compared to my other games. And at some point I stopped curving, and it's really sad. I can't interact with that. If that was just a 2-1, I would have ghostlied it, but I can't do anything to it, so whatever. Honestly, I think he should have killed my my thing here, my white, because this was just like the same amount of damage to his face anyway. I made it so he really didn't want to kill my Shadow Beast. He really wants to kill my white. He kills the Shadow Beast anyway, and he only removes 1 damage from the board for it, so I'm gonna hit him in the face again. 4 here. So here I had thought about it, like, if I get to turn 8 with a Lucifer evolve, like, that's death. If I draw a Cursed Soldier, that's a death for him. It's not looking like either one of those things is going to happen, though. And then I think on turn 7 I screw everything up anyway. That Art of the Ninja was crucial for him. Act of Another God was crucial for me because I didn't have a 6-play. A 6-play would have been nice. I would have liked it. The Elduida's command is really strong here. So here I decide that I can't survive just like on board unless I use the evolution point here, right? Because if I had just used the Bane Minion to hit here, he's left with a 5/4, an evolution point, and a 2/2, and that's 9 damage. So I have to evolve my Lord of the Flies here, or else I can't live. I could have played Call of the Void and also evolved and killed this thing, but that doesn't leave as much in play. It doesn't leave a 6 for Lord of the Flies in play that he kind of has to answer. But I was actually exceptionally lucky to get the Bane creature there. So now it's looking bleak for me. I have to play the Mammoth and the Ghostly Grass because I die on board if I play Lucifer, because that's just 9 to my 10. I'm sorry, I don't die on board. I die to any one card. A Quick Blader, a Royal Banner, I'm almost always going to die to the Novice Trooper card, but like I'm reducing outs by doing this play compared to the Lucifer play. It's not a lot of outs, but they are bronze. Well, the one is a silver. Okay, so had he only had 1 ward, the Call of the Void had been enough, but I have the Voices of Resentment, so I just win. That card is actually so powerful in TakeTwo. This one right here. I would draft 3 of them. I probably wouldn't draft a 4th, but I would draft 3 of them. And I have before, and it's very, very strong. You can just use it early game to provide pressure. You can use it late game to provide 2 damage to the opponent's face. Ghosts are very, very flexible. You can even use cards before it. So if you had like the Mummy Storm, you could play the Mummy Storm and then the Ghosts, and then have just like 4 damage. So I got, pretty lucky with that game at the end, but only because I had gotten exceptionally unlucky in the mid game. Like, if I had anything other than nothing, If I had a lot of different cards could have won me that game just in the mid game. So it evened out overall. I was in command of that game since like turn 1. I could also just draw on Cursed Soldier and got over all his wards. Like, he had 4 health remaining. It wasn't looking good for him. There were a lot of things. A Bahamut also would have won that game for me, but I don't have one of those in this draft. So this is the final boss. This game was also kind of tricky. But Kawi saves the day by being overpowered. Plays a Death Brand on my 2-drop. I don't like that much. I would have preferred him to play a minion. See, I would have just played the Death Chaser. I actually don't know if that was off the top or not. If that wasn't off the top, I would have played the Death Chaser and went face if I was him. This is also just kind of a weak play out of him. After the Nether God involved the Hamsa, like, he's using so many resources very early because he thinks he can win it in the mid game. And I just don't have that confidence that he has. So here I Curse the Rebirth to get back, I think, what else did I play that was 3-drop? The Rabbit Necromancer. That's the card I really wanted, I think. But I was always going to play the Bone Chimera and evolve it, because that gives me 2 skeletons, which will give me 2 shadows, which will make my Ghostly Grasp infinitely better. And possibly make it so I can Ghostly Grasp and Cursed Soldier in the same game. So I just want these shadows, is what I'm thinking here, rather than evolving the Buccaneer to take out the Hamsa. So he makes a Chiron, and this is where the game gets kind of hard. Now I'm gonna have to evolve the Buccaneer anyway. And whatchamacall? Trade it in. Things aren't looking good. He drops the Orcus. It's turn 7 for me. I can drop the Kawi, which I'm going to do here. I could have dropped the Lord of the Flies and hoped for the Bane creature, but that just doesn't do enough on board. Meanwhile, okay. If that had hit the Charon, which I traded into my Kawi, he would have a 6/6 in play. If he has a 6/6 in play, he hits my face for 6, probably. Maybe he hits the zombie, maybe not. And I would be at 12 again. Excuse me, I've been talking for too long. So that doesn't matter too much. Like, I still get the 6 health back, which is important because that lets me survive for turns. And then I can play the Lord of the Flies and clean this up, or, you know, anything, right? He has some minions to play out here, so despite his like wasting all his valuable cards early, he still has valuable cards. So here's a play that I make that might be a little controversial. I could have completely cleared the board by playing the Voices of Resentment, just like killed this, and traded this into the Angel of Word, hit face for 1. But that doesn't make my board stronger at all. So I'm going to make my board the strongest it can be, which involves trading this zombie into this Chiron and killing this Angel of Word so that both of these minions can't trade into my Lord of the Flies. If I got in the Bane guy, it would have went into the Death Chaser, obviously. And then he would have just had the Angel of Word left. If I had gotten the Ward minion, then that would have been fine as well. The zombie still just goes in the Charon. So, all these cases that happens. So he just has another removal spell. He just like doesn't have minions in his deck, I guess. Which is very good for me. So here, once again, I could have played the Voices of Resentment to clean up this board, but this makes my board way stronger, and also just this trade, making sure to make this trade while I can, because I don't have... I have like one effect that would destroy the 1/1. So here he's out of things, and that's just fine by me. He can have this 4 health back, I don't care. I'm gonna play the Deadly Widow and the Hell's Unleashed. And this was my last misplay of the series, debatably. Here I think I just call, I just call the Void his Playful Necromancer, and I trade and I go face for 1. But honestly, I think the correct play, if I had been thinking about it, I was pretty sure I won by this point because I just had these 3 cards in my hand. But I think the correct play was actually using Voices of Resentment, using one of the ghosts to kill the Playful Necromancer, then going face for 5, because that just puts him on 5 health, and represents lethal on the next turn. I make this other play here because I'm thinking, what if he has this? What if he has that? What if he just has Bahamut, right? If I go face for 5 this turn, Voices of Resentment to clear both his minions, and he uses Bahamut, I'm left with a 4/4 in play. And then I can call the Void it, right? That's what happens if he plays Bahamut. Well, what if he has a Kawi behind that? I don't have anything with Ghostly Grasp. I could run in the Lich that I have in play yet, and then Ghostly Grasp. And then I'm on my deck to win, just in the position that he's in. So I think the play that I take here is very value oriented. And not the strongest possible play on this turn, just a play that's probably stronger in the long run. If he had played Kawi there, I had to play the Voices of Resentment to deal with it, I believe. Or no, I could have traded in my thing and then used the Ghostly Grasp. That's what I would have done with Kawi on that turn, because that would have killed my 1/1 Hell Unleasher and gave me a 4/4 as well. And then if he had played Bahamut the next turn, then I would have used the Voices of Resentment. Like, those are the things that I was thinking of, I'm pretty sure. Like, what if he draws it in this order? What if he draws it in that order? So that's how I was thinking at that point in the Take-Two run. But I could have just set up lethal and been in slightly better shape. But he left anyway. I don't think it was over for him. I don't know what he could have possibly have drawn for him to think that the game was over, but there you have it. Make misplays win anyway, because people are worse than you in Take-Two. Good job. Draft aggressively with Shadowcraft. Good job. Thank you all for watching. I only shaved 5 minutes off this video.